Tramps, tricks, hussies, hoes, floozies, bimbos, sluts. You know what I'm saying? So acronyms. But you know, when it comes to the notion of overreach bitches and tyranny rape, you know, it's a comparison. And they got throw-offs. And they use religion as their throw-off. So what they got? They got a other half, evil half, on purpose they're claiming, of the church. And then they got demon rules. Okay? And with these demon rules, it's like an occult. So, you know, and they're all playing their demon rule games. Okay, so they gotta go by the rules in there. But the thing is, that whole scene is just a cover-up of overreach tyranny. Like a country backronym. Okay? But, you know, the whole setup is for the rape punishment and the rape leverage. Okay, for extortion and this and that. And so what they got is they got the people they victimize, the actual rape. But then they got the like demon rule women playing these games to cover it up like a cunt, a cover up. Okay, and they help them out. They're the flag hustle female hypocrites. You know, besides females getting other females raped, they're in on that process to then cover it up. Okay, and they got all these extras. After that, they got nurse, sex nurses. Okay, and then they mix in more prostitutes with that. Okay, and then they go back and forth on that, right? And then afterwards, they then have them as a cunt, a cover-up, for then reverse blaming everything. If the demon rules don't work, then they got, oh, she was a prostitute. It's her fault. On top of it. So it's like hugely covered up. Okay. And, you know, then on top of that, they got the normal cunts. Now that's just regular women who they approach and then convince that, oh, that's just, you know, you got to fight fire with fire. You know, we use that's our defense. That's all negative. That's all opposites. Because when we're making love to our women and such, we have the room con. That's what room's for. To have an opposite of rape and murder. To have a defense against voyeurists and perverts. And they convinced him, it's an opposite program. It's a defense. Okay, they're all just acting like, oh, that's just here, right? Because that's that murder, rape, negative program. That's that opposite. And so then, they don't get involved with telling on people for what's going on. And they think it's all a setup. Okay. Now, some of that is going on, where people have illegal defenses. And that would be an example, because that's illegal. You can't do that. You can't do retaliation. And you can't do harassment, because that's an escalation of the situation. But they're conning that that's what's going on. Now, I myself am not involved in any of this. I just, when my mom died, they hit me with murder business entrapments. And that's been going on since 2017. And that includes female doppelgangers. They still got me tricked with this omnipresence and these military emergency services that they're misusing an omnipresence. And then they're either from like an agency or like a bum circuit type thing, or they are actual doppelganger female clone.
Bloody Mary's Beach Lab.
On a
Go fucking
bride
go.
husband marriage character crime. And then to do the best man bridesmaid murder business, the entrapments. So, it's best to not get involved.
Dolly
And
of
if
the
you do
80s.
hear something, call the authorities. And don't try to get involved yourself unless you 100% know and can do something legally to stop that. But you gotta watch out, because it could be a murder business entrapment. Or then they got alibis and lie about it, and then claim we don't know. And then plus they get a cunt in there real quick covered up. We were like having fun, and this asshole ran in. We had to put him down, and that's their whole setup.
Besides that, there's a few other things. There's what was called hitting below the belt. And that's where they actually use children. Because in the marriage characters, besides rape, bait, hustles, and murder business, and rape, punishment, tyranny, there's also the ring bearer and the flower maiden of the little kids. So they'll use the little kids. They'll con hustle, demand rape, and be illegal, demand illegal rules, and lie to children. Okay? And they actually do this, and I think it is hitting below the belt big time. Especially when the police want to do the pedophile entrapments, and then claim it's a sting when it's coercion and constantly harass with the overhearing, and then the illegal guardians. Okay, and then their whole school bus con, principal con, raping cunt bitches as leverage, and then punishment rape. It's totally all legal, big time. With the tyranny gavel, with tyranny rape boogeyman, um, just know the 5th, 6th, uh, 8th, and 14th Amendment. You remember, it reminds you of female FE and then heaven HN. Those those constitutional rights directly state they cannot do tyranny overreach over past crimes. Okay, and then obviously the 8th and 14th I already mentioned, but then the 13th Amendment. The only punishment enslavement is jail and prison jobs, and some of the it can stipulate that outside of prison community service jobs that they have to do. That's the only thing allowed in the USA. A case, if you want to get into the clone stuff, would be McFowl versus Shimp, stating you don't have to donate. Uh, Forced donations are illegal. Believe it or not, it's a huge notion in that whole realm. But also false legend, first lady stuff, and Reaper tricks, where they get into the racial revenge, rape stuff, and then they do all the setups in order to do that. So you gotta watch out for that stuff. Just like you gotta watch out for rock and roll backronym, organized crime, kleptomaniac, rapist of hell, organized rapist of hell, and rap. There they actually do the represent a place. And then they got all the cars and such that they place and then do things if they're busted out or what the scene is based upon those represent a place. So you gotta watch out for that. But they do trickery with that and throw offs. So you gotta be real careful with that stuff. They've been hitting me with the Christmas con, with the voyeurism, eavesdropping technology, and then claim it's not voyeurism, veterans. And then they got, because they murder it. and then do all the demand and rape children crimes with that. But it's just a setup of Kentucky, Louisville, of kid entrapment, children kill you, but it was us type stuff, USA. And then all the underage sex entrapments that they lowball with the pedophile, and then try to highball with the hot 17-year-olds, just to hit you. I'm not advocating to defend pedophiles at all. But you gotta watch out for getting them hitting people with that. That's why you gotta watch out getting involved. People frame and lie, and then they know they can kill you with kid entrapments. So you gotta be careful of baiting people, what they do, because you might be involved in a frame lie.